Today in Chicago, a deadly heat wave claims lives. A long-running investigation charges 6 men in a suburban prostitution ring. A crime spree hits Southland gaming spots. An ICE detention rattles a Northside school community. And Gary pushes for greener steelmaking. Stay tuned. Dean Bark here, and this is the City Report with Dean Bark in Chicago. Let's open with the big one. Heat wave claims 6 lives in Cook County, a rising threat. Cook County just logged its deadliest month for heat-related deaths in more than a decade. 6 people have died in July, most under 60, from heat stroke and related complications. The heat index pushed past 100 degrees on multiple days. The combined effect of temperature and humidity, it strains the body and can be lethal fast. 2 of those lost have been identified publicly. Victor Ferguson, a West Side resident, died July 2nd of heat stroke, and Stephanie Rodriguez died July 9th from complications tied to extreme heat. These are Chicagoans, neighbors who expected summer, not a medical emergency. Experts say these tragedies are often undercounted because death certificates may list heart attack or stroke without noting that heat triggered them. In other words, the true toll is likely higher. Cooling centers are in the spotlight again, and not in a good way. Chicago's network of city-run spaces meant to provide air-conditioned relief has drawn criticism for limited hours, inconsistent weekend availability, and locations that are hard to reach if you don't have a car. When the heat index crosses 100, a center that's closed at 5 p.m. doesn't do much for a third-shift worker or a senior on a fixed route. That's the headline, but the takeaway is simple. Accessibility saves lives. Here's a sobering stat. Heat kills more people annually in the U.S. than all other weather hazards combined. Floods, tornadoes, blizzards, heat still wins that grim race. My view here, the criticism of cooling access is justified. Extend hours during alerts, make transit to centers straightforward, and check in on people with pre-existing conditions. Let's not overcomplicate this. The interventions are known, and they're not exotic. They just need to be available when the thermometer climbs. Let's pivot to the next story. Prostitution ring bust. 6 charged in Chicago suburbs after long probe. Prosecutors in Kane County, which is the county-level office that brings felony cases in places like Aurora and Elgin, say a 15-month investigation led to coordinated arrests last week. 6 men are accused of running brothels or related operations across Aurora, West Dundee, Rockford, and South Elgin. According to the Kane County State's Attorney's Office, charges include promoting prostitution, with some counts enhanced for proximity to a school, and even forgery. Prosecutors say the forgery involved leases for suspected brothel locations being signed with fake names. Not exactly a master class in property management. All 6 suspects are being held in Kane County Jail. First court appearances are set in the coming days. Remember, these are allegations, and the defendants are presumed innocent until proven guilty. What's notable here is the collaboration. Multiple law enforcement agencies worked this case across jurisdictions, syncing up surveillance and arrest timing. In a region where crime often crosses municipal lines, this kind of coordination matters. My take, it's commendable, and it shows what can be done when departments line up resources, share data, and move together. Moving on. Crime spree targets gambling venues across Southland suburbs. The Southland, our south and southwest suburban belt, has seen a string of break-ins at gaming cafes. In Palos Hills on July 4th, Rosie's Gaming Cafe was hit. On July 7th in Burbank, masked individuals carrying sledgehammers and pry bars broke into May's Lounge and Honey's Cafe, stealing more than $4,500. New Lenox reported a similar break-in at the Zinn Club. Same playbook: smash, pry, grab, go. Police reports across the area also catalog a reckless discharge of a firearm, aggravated battery cases, and DUI crashes during this stretch. Departments say they're reviewing surveillance footage, which is extensive. Despite the planning and heavy tools, investigators say the suspects left behind plenty of evidence, including clear video. If this was meant to be Ocean's 11, it looked more like a pilot episode that needed a rewrite. As always, a note of caution. Arrest reports do not imply guilt, and in some of these incidents, arrests haven't been announced yet. If you frequent these gaming spots and saw vehicles lingering after hours, contact local police in Burbank, Palos Hills, or New Lenox. Time to dig into the details, then move them to a courtroom if charges are filed. Shifting gears. ICE detainment of CPS custodian sparks community outcry. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, detained Josue Pire Hidalgo on July 17th during what's typically a routine check-in. Pire Hidalgo, a Chicago public schools custodian employed since July 2025, lives on the north side with his wife and 2 children. The family came to the U.S. in 2022 and applied for asylum late that year. Here's where the community steps in. Neighbors, school staff, and SEIU Local 73, the union that represents school support workers, is rallying for his release, pointing to his ties to the school and neighborhood. His wife and children were released after the appointment. He remains in custody awaiting a hearing. Supporters say they believed they were following the rules by checking in. Some nearly skipped the appointment out of fear this would happen. Advocates also say this reflects a shift in enforcement. Picking up individuals at routine check-ins marks a change from prior practice. The legal process now moves to immigration court, where asylum claims, detention, and bond are determined. My view, the fear and uncertainty surrounding these check-ins is deeply concerning. It chills cooperation, even from families trying to do everything by the book. Well, that's one way to look at it. The system should reward compliance, not make people afraid of it. And now for something completely different. Gary Council advocates for green steelmaking amid environmental push. The Gary Common Council, that's the legislative body for the city of Gary, Indiana, has passed a resolution urging U.S. Steel's Gary Works, one of the largest steel mills in the country, to adopt greener technologies. Specifically, they're calling for a direct reduction furnace, which uses natural gas to produce sponge iron paired with electric arc furnaces that can significantly reduce emissions. Environmental groups and residents back the move, citing public health and regional competitiveness. U.S. Steel, for its part, says a transition on this scale could shutter existing operations and lead to job cuts, which the company frames as a serious risk. That point is disputed by advocates who argue phased investments in retraining can protect jobs while cleaning the air. For context, converting a legacy integrated mill to electric arc at Gary's scale is rare. Few precedents exist, which complicates timelines and costs. The council plans to circulate the resolution to state and federal officials to line up support and potentially funding. My take, the environmental goal is essential, but the workforce can't be an afterthought. Cleaner air shouldn't come with pink slips. Invest in the people alongside the technology. Let's cut to the chase. If this gets done right, the Calumet region could lead the country in low-carbon steel and keep paychecks local. Dean Bark signing off from the City Report with Dean Bark in Chicago. Have a great day, and see you tomorrow.